Every teacher is expected to measure and ultimately report an overall mark or grade for each student. That mark is supposed to represent the degree of acquisition of the curriculum. However, some educators need to report other items, such as learning skills, effort, thinking skills, behavior, work habits, or other user-defined growth measures, in addition to the calculated grade. To access learning skills, click on the Class menu and select Learning Skills, or click on the Reports menu and select Learning Skills. When the Learning Skill function opens, you'll have access to 5 different screens for entering, printing, or setting up values. They are the summary screen for entering data. Data can be entered on this screen, on the individual student screen. Your entries can be printed. Let's deal with setup first. The heading, by default, is Learning Skills, but you can change that to one of 3 other supplied items. Or you can type your own title into that cell. Once saved, that title will appear in the 2 access menus. I'm going to change it back to Learning Skills. Also by default, MarkBook loads 2 sets of skills. The first is called Ontario Learning Skills. There are 6 skills listed. And Behaviors is loaded with 10 skills listed. In addition to these 2, MarkBook comes with several others. Click the Load a Scheme button to see the list. For instance, double-click Class Performance to load 9 class skills. Or double-click Thinking Skills 1. Or Thinking Skills 2. I recommend examining the various sets of schemes available to you. Or create your own list. To do this, click the Clear button, select the number of skills you wish in your list, and you can type a description in any of the yellow cells. When finished, click the Save a Scheme button with a new name. Also by default, MarkBook supplies 4 levels, each with a letter code and a description. You could create your own or add more levels as you see fit. MarkBook will allow up to 2 letters for each code. When finished, click the Save button in the lower right corner. Once a setup has been saved, rate learning skills using the 3 screens up at the upper right. The summary screen, by default, will have a click sequence. So, click in a cell to enter the first level. Second click, third click, fourth click, and the last click will clear. The sequence is given in red text down at the lower right. You could use a drop-down list. Click in a cell, you'll get a drop-down menu of the ratings. Click the one you want, click the next cell, and so on and so on. You could use a stamp method. If excellent is the selected stamp, click, click, click to enter the data that way. You can also flood a given rating, or you can clear using flood. This individual learning skills screen is an alternate way of entering the same ratings. Select the skill you'd like to rate. Select the level that you'd like to use for certain students. Then, click those students' names, and that rating will appear. You can click the Apply to All button to give every student that same selected rating. And you can click the Clear All button to remove all of those ratings. The individual student screen is a third way of rating each skill. There's a drop-down menu, or there are buttons. Click in a given button, and the skill will be rated that way. Once the first student is finished, move to the next student and repeat the process using either of the techniques available on this screen. When finished, or at any time, click the Print button towards the upper right to move to the print screen. Decide how you want to identify the students, and then click Print. You'll get a printout that looks like this. Finally, to save your data and to leave the learning skills screens, click the Save button at the lower right, and you'll return to the main form.